In this video, we're going to practice our gift wrapping skills with these present ornaments. So let's get started by reviewing the supplies and tools we'll need. Foam core board, a ruler, a pencil, craft knife and cutting mat, painter's tape, scotch tape, patterned paper, scissors, a paper trimmer, ribbon, and thin cotton cord. Step 1. Measure. Take a ruler and measure 2 inches up from the edge of your board. Do this a few more times, spacing the points about 6 to 9 inches apart. Then connect the points with the ruler. Note that foam board is usually a little bigger than what I'm working with. I had to pre-cut it down so it would fit on camera. Step 2. Cut the foam core board. Match the ruler up against the drawn line to help guide your craft knife. I like to add a little bit of painter's tape to the underside to keep it from slipping around. Then take your knife and cut the foam core using a few strokes. On the long strip, measure down 2 inches to create the bottom of the present box. Because the foam core board is 3/16 of an inch thick, we are going to measure out 1 13/16 of an inch for the 4 sides, and then one more 2 inch for the top. This will make more sense later while we're assembling. Then use your painter's tape and ruler to cut. Step 3. Tape into a box. Place the 4 sides of the box against the 2-inch bottom, justifying each side either to the right or left. It doesn't matter which as long as all the sides are the same. Add scotch tape to each and then fold and tape the sides up. You'll now see why we measured the sides to take into account the thickness of the board. Then add the top to finish your box. Step 4. Trim paper. Before we wrap our present, we need to trim the paper. But unlike traditional wrapping that leaves 3 sides with seams and tape, we are going to use the diagonal gift wrapping method, which only leaves 1. So for our 2-inch by 2-inch box, we want to have a paper that's about 4 times as big, so 8 inches by 8 inches. Step 5. Wrap. As mentioned, we are using the diagonal method to reduce seams. I don't have an issue with traditional wrapping. I wrap most presents that way. But on very small presents, like this ornament, diagonal is my preferred method. As you can see, it does take some finessing to get just right, so I recommend practicing the first time with some printer paper. You want to make sure that your edges are tightly taped, and when you get to the end, to make a nice clean fold like an envelope. Step 6. Tie ribbon. Take your ribbon and wrap it around the present 3 times. I like to do this instead of measuring out the ribbon because it ensures that I'll have enough to tie in both directions and enough to make a bow. Step 6. Add string. Measure out 6 inches of cotton cord and tie the tips into a double knot. And that's how you make a present ornament. Add some variety by using different pattern papers and ribbons. You can also mix it up by making ornaments that are wide and tall. Cut out a long strip of foam board that has a width of 1 13/16 inch, and then measure out 4 sides that are 2 3/4 inch long. Once the sides are cut, add the same 2-inch by 2-inch top and bottom as the square ornaments. Line the sides up, then tape and fold. When you trim the paper for wrapping, you will want to add another 2 inches to one end. Now, 2 3/4 times 4 is actually 11 inches, but I found that to be a little bit too long, so my paper is going to be 8-inch by 10-inch. Use the same wrapping technique, but keep in mind that the paper will be a little offset. I actually found the tall ornament to be the most difficult, so if you're really struggling, you can use a wide ornament and tie the ribbon as a tall. Just know that the seam will be in the back instead of on the bottom. These ornaments are a great stocking stuffer. They're an inexpensive way to give a unique gift to everyone on your list with a homemade touch. They're lightweight and sturdy, so if you have little kids or pets at home, you don't need to worry about them being broken by being dropped or knocked off the tray.